Thanks, guys. Have a seat, make yourself comfortable. Today, I'm gonna teach you, I'm gonna talk about, and I'm gonna share some experiences with you about everything you need to know about game. Okay, so after this, you'll be able to approach women, talk to girls, have a great conversation, end up having sex with them. You're gonna have all that knowledge after today. What's your name? Do you remember mine?
Maximum.
I was totally random, but I was going over there, right? I saw you walking with the shake. They have this very kind of artsy vibe. I'm sorry, I'm Justin, sorry to be rude.
Playing it safe is something a badass motherfucker does not know, okay? Fuck playing it safe. I'm gonna fuck this girl or I burn it to the ground.
Wait, we did 2 seconds. Oh. You're crazy. You know you're crazy, right?
A lot of men have gone through a lot of pain barriers to hire someone like us and to put their life in our hands.
You're just using me.
I'm using for what?
I don't know, for a company or something.
Okay, so this is the thing.
For a business venture.
No, hold on.
It's a system. If other guys can make it work, it's down to you. Remember, she's got her system. It's called lots of fucking makeup, push-up bras, lipstick, all the things that enhance what she is not.
Most people don't even know what pickup is. Most people don't even know that there is an industry. But actually, this is a multi-million-dollar industry that's global, that has entire communities online. And it's a world that's hidden from women.
If people call this manipulation, then I just say, okay. I understand that the idea that there's a system, when it comes to meeting women, attracting women, that can just like completely get a girl anytime, it's a scary thing. And not only that, society look at it in a bad way, but guess what? We're not the mainstream, nor do we care to be the mainstream. You know? I mean, the less people that know about it, the better it is, right?
I don't like the thought that a girl can be tricked and manipulated into bed at all. But the evidence is there that actually they can be.
This is all earned. Okay, I spent a lot of time and a lot of sweat and tears figuring out how to do this.
Oh, say hello. For 1 second. Come here, come here. Let me say hi to your mom real quick.
Oh, no, it's okay.
No. I'm good with mothers. I'm good with mothers.
It's okay.
This idea that if you learn this programming, you can get this girl to react in this certain way is horrifying.
I just ran into him on the corner of the
So
store.
we were looking at each other. We thought we were cute.
Most men have this inner desire to want to sleep with women or have sex with women. So when they read things like you'd have a girl begging to suck your dick, why is there might logically think to themselves that they would not like to associate themselves with that? Deep down, that appeals to most guys. And that's what gets them to buy pickup products. And if it didn't get them to buy pickup products, you don't have pickup companies making $100 million a year.
Morning, good morning, rise and shine. Today's the day I make you mine. The sun is rising over the hay. I know it's gonna be a wonderful day. Some morning, good morning, rise and shine. Morning, good morning, rise and shine.
You guys are all ready? Okay, why don't you go ahead, Tracy.
Please describe to me briefly how you're self-employed.
Well, I started out, I have my own cleaning service, and I've been in it for about 3 years.
For most men, dating is a form of gambling. They're rolling the dice, hoping that they're gonna get lucky. If you were getting on an airplane and stuck your head in the cockpit and said to the pilot, how are you gonna make sure we get to Dubai? And he quite seriously said, I don't know, maybe we'll get lucky, and he meant it. You get the fuck off the plane. Correct?
How many have ever had a woman you just didn't care and she liked you? Raise your hand. Now, how many women have you ever had a real crush on them and no matter what you did, they just didn't like you? Why? There's a reason for it. It's got to do with energy.
Talking to women was one of my biggest fears in life. Before, I couldn't even go up to an old lady and ask her for directions. And I find out, oh, hey, there's this whole community actually trying to get better with women. They have my same problem.
When I first started teaching, I had no idea that when a guy came to talk to you in a bar, that had taken courage to come do that. It wasn't uncommon to meet someone who was sort of 25 and had never been with a girl. And I'd think, wouldn't it be nice if everybody had the confidence, if they see someone attractive and you're single, to go over and start a conversation? I wanted to help guys have the confidence to talk to girls. But then when you start teaching, you see this other side of it. There's a dark side. There really is.
I don't think that a lot of people understand that there is this real subculture and what their teachings are and what the beliefs are.
When she tells me I have a boyfriend, right? Still fucking dead in her face. I don't give a shit. I ignore that. Push it over there. Let's get back in the conversation.
Is that a yoga mat? Where can we do yoga around here? You're the first person I saw.
I do it in the rec center.
Charming a girl in 60 seconds, that became my hallmark. Literally in a session, I would get like 30 numbers from very attractive women.
No, talk for a second. I don't know, because you're cute. You have good energy.
Afterwards, I coached. Sleeping with a woman is stacking many subtle behaviors end to end. They would pay me $1,000 and at the end $2,000 for an afternoon, and they would go out. And some of them were like, what the fuck? I mean, because I was a machine. A lot of confidence and alpha male behavior and proactivity is knowing that it's my right to go after this girl. There was no emotional register. I was an executor. There were hundreds of women. I would sometimes have 3 dates a night. I mean, it was like full on, man. Now I'm settled down and married, closed that chapter of my life, and then you guys showed up with all your equipment, wanting to like pry that open. I feel like a war criminal, and you're some nosy journalist who's coming, wanting to expose me.
It still really surprises me how many people have absolutely no idea that this industry even exists. I don't know how it's managed to stay so underground. We're talking about a multi-million-dollar industry that's all over the world with loads and loads of people teaching, loads and loads of students, entire online communities of people. I guess because there's not really an incentive for it to come out. But it all started back in the 80s with just this one guy.
Meet Ross Jeffries. Ross teaches other men how to get women into bed.
I was a very, I would say, ungainly teenager and young man. I was 6'2" and weighed 127 pounds. I was emaciated and very low self-esteem and couldn't get a girlfriend. I was always the guy who was the big brother, the best friend. I actually used to keep a scrapbook of the rejection notes, and it was very painful. I remember walking up Bruin Walk at UCLA after like the 5th or 6th date cancellation and yelling, when am I going to solve this? Then around 1987, I stumbled on my first NLP book.
Today, I want to talk about neuro-linguistic programming, or NLP, as conversational hypnosis. Some of the ways that we use hypnosis in NLP include anchoring. Anchoring is an NLP technique you can use to anchor a person to you to believe that you have certain attributes. Motivated, for example, honest, loving, or powerful. We can anchor people to have rapport with us. There are all sorts of uses for anchors. Now, my understanding is that you're not going to use this technology for anything that you shouldn't.
I thought, this is good stuff. I can use this to get over my own shyness, my own difficulty. And there's also some techniques there for influence and persuasion, but no one had ever applied it towards seduction. I thought, I'm going to be the person who did it.
Ross, what do women really want?
I don't care what they want. I only care what they respond to. There's what women say they want, there's what women think they want, and then there's what they actually respond to. I'm interested in what works on the street when it's time to date and mate. And what women actually respond to is not what they say they want.
So what do they respond to?
They really respond to a guy who's a challenge, a guy who's a question mark, a guy who keeps them guessing.
In 1988, I self-published a book called How to Get the Women You Desire into Bed. It got me on all sorts of talk shows. It's a subtitle that really got people. A down and dirty guide to dating and seduction for the man who's fed up with being Mr. Nice Guy. It talked about how to use self-hypnosis and how to use hypnotic techniques to get women all excited.
I'm talking for the little guy out there who gets his head kicked in and always winds up being the buddy, the big brother, and here is, let's be friends. You want a friend, lady? Get a dog.
Okay. And here's the thing.
Ross, I think you're gonna end up a very lonely man.
When I started this, there were no cell phones. There was no Twitter, no internet, no Facebook. Tapes. We had cassette tapes. There was no digital nothing. Our speed seduction catalog was literally mailed to you. We mailed it. We got on the internet in 1991. Then I got seduction.com in 1994. Back then, they had one search engine. You pretty much had to know the URL of the site you wanted to go to.
I was 19 when I got into it. So I was sitting in a pub called the Round Table in Leicester Square, and a friend said to me, hey, you should read Ross Jeffries' newsletters. And then later on, he gave me the cassette to listen to. My only idea of how to meet people would be go to loud, horrible clubs and try to dance near people and hope they notice me. And yeah, as we all know, that doesn't really work that well.
My name is Eric von Markovic, commonly known to the world as Mystery, and we're going to do a little experiment. Hey Siri, show me a picture of a pickup artist.
Here are some images of a pickup artist I found on the web.
They're all of me. Here's one. There was something called news groups, and Ross had created his own news group called Alt Seduction Fast. This is before Facebook groups. Fast Seduction was his company name, and there were about 40 members. When I first got online and found about news groups, I stumbled upon Alt Seduction Fast. It was a niche, and I found that fascinating. Finding out that there's a small burgeoning community, and I started growing it. I started responding to questions that I had answers to. I had learned by myself and gotten a few girls in my life over the course of a few years. Performing magic in nightclubs, I was actually paid to be there, to be a point of interest, right? I taught other guys up in Toronto that which I know, specifically tactics and strategies, and I did it for shits and giggles.
That's mid-air appearance. That's all I'm saying. There's something to that.
If I say, here, join me for a second, I look away while I do it and then look back, I'm more likely to do it than if I say, come join me for a sec. If I eyeball her, come join me. They'll be like, no. But if I say, here, come here for a sec. Okay. See that body language? They're more likely to come.
The early days of discovering pickup material were just like coming across this secret treasure that no one else knew about. You would think, wow, I just learned this secret language. I have this special superpower now that none of my friends have. I noticed I was more arrogant with women. I wasn't afraid to talk to them. That was a big thing for me. And I was no longer intimidated by other men because I felt I had a superpower in a way. At least that's what it was like at the beginning.
I was up in Toronto and I wanted to live in Hollywood, so I created Project Hollywood. That's a nice town, filled with beautiful women. I wanted to meet them. I had some Hollywood aspirations that I wanted to pursue. Project Hollywood was a collaboration. I wanted to live in a nice big place and I wanted to share it with others. And so we had 5 guys all move in together. Everyone that lived in that house was a pickup artist. We had Papa, we had Owen, also known as Tyler Durden, or just TD, myself, Herbal Tea, and Neil Strauss, AKA Style.
What's with your picture in Rolling Stone? Ooh.
Neil was a writer and had done interviews with Courtney Love, and they got on very well. So she was invited to stay with us. We had a rock star secretly living in our house, surrounded by pickup artists.
When are you guys gonna have that bed? I hate that bed. Neil! Yes? Don't let me give anything else but that bed, all right? So I'll end up giving away too much shit, okay?
Right. We lived just 2 minutes from Sunset Boulevard. It's the Hollywood dream. Beautiful house, right by all the nightclubs, restaurants, lots of social environments with which to interact with people.
Project Hollywood became the focus of the pickup world. Everybody who was into pickup followed it. You had this whole online forum of thousands and thousands all following what these guys were doing in Hollywood and then doing the same thing in their own towns or cities and sharing their experiences. It was essentially a laboratory for guys to go out and try different tactics and techniques. If you went out and tried something, you would write a field report with the details. And then if you got laid, you'd write what they called a lay report.
They invited me to be in that house. I said, I'm not going to live in a frat house. I'm not a college boy. They stayed out to all hours of the night. They lived a drunken lifestyle. They were living like bums.
I always loved living in a theatrical family, creating an extended family with friends. Project Hollywood worked for the longest time. At least up until a point where a roommate of mine, Herbal Tea, ended up having sex with a girlfriend of mine that we had just broken up that day. I heard it. It was a room near the kitchen. It really affected me emotionally, and I'd never felt jealousy with that much weight. I didn't have tools to handle that. I was talking about suicide. Neil took that seriously, as he would, as a good friend, and he took me to a hospital. He wrote about that. That very thing. But I remember all of it, yeah.
It's interesting, really, because you've got an underground industry, and then you've got an undercover journalist exposing this industry.
Well, when they do an article on, like, the great fucking author, Neil Strauss, then I'll fucking have him do that picture. Even then, I'd have him do a caricature.
When Neil wrote the game, he knew when he was living among those guys, he was secretly writing about them, all the while pretending to be their friends. It's a very sociopathic thing to do, isn't it?
We're going to do a topic that Andrea wants to discuss today because she found this very interesting book.
It's called The Game by Neil Strauss.
This is a man's Bible, right?
It's got gold pages, and it's even got a ribbon bookmark here. The subtitle is Penetrating the Secret Society of Pickup Artists.
When the teachers at the time realised that this was going to be a book, they were quite nervous about the industry being exposed.
Disarm the obstacles.
I want to know what disarming the obstacles. This sounds like a friggin' FBI tactical sort of thing. What's this one? Isolate the target. Like, give me a break. Here's the target. I must disarm the obstacles.
The game was really the book that put pickup on the map. Before the game came out, pickup companies were quite underground. There were maybe 3 or 4 companies. And if you were outside the industry, you didn't even know it existed.
In fact, what the game did was create this industry that just boomed, and these people shot to fame, and everybody wanted them to teach them.
And I was like, this is gonna change everything. Oh no. But it didn't. It just opened up people wanting to hire me.
What's up, Bruce Wayne with Justin Wayne Dating.
What's up, it's Justin Wayne, and I have another Q&A.
My name is Shawn Michael, for those who know me, aka Discovery.
I'm Paul Janka. This is Beyond the Digits.
You have dozens of companies forming, trying to capitalize on the popularity of that book. Any company which had any association with pickup or the game was successful.
Are we all ready to settle in? Where's Baxter? Yeah. Baxter, you ready? You met Danny? Yeah. Okay, very good. Take a seat, guys. Yep, let's all settle in.
I created a company called Social Dynamics. And then My lead coach, Tyler Durden, and Papa decided to take my mailing list, find out who those people were, and without telling me, create their own sales letter. And they sold to the very people that were on my customer list. And the company's name was RSD, Real Social Dynamics.
Mystery originally called this stuff social dynamics. Tyler came along and, with his partner Papa, created their own business, Real Social Dynamics. They stole it from right out from under him.
Jackasses. Forgive it. It was a long time ago. They were studious. They were industrious.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's wonderful RSD free tour. Your speaker this evening comes from a faraway land in the middle of the Alps. The 5,000-person cow town he grew up in didn't offer much opportunity, so he chose to get out, learn to become a man, and master the skill of getting with women whom some might call out of his league. Now he's touring the world, teaching thousands of men to get laid. If you want an amazing sex life, if you want to get your shit together and thrive, then please give a warm applause and welcome RSD Maximilian!
Thanks so much for this warm, very, very warm welcome. Thanks so much for all these familiar faces. Thanks to Tom for all these new faces. Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
Being good with girls is a skill just like any other skill. If you say like, okay, I'm teaching guys how to get good with women, people are like, why do you have to put in some strategies now? That's weird. I don't like that. That's creepy. I think Arnold Schwarzenegger said that if everybody likes you, you're doing something wrong. You don't want to be liked by everybody. You want to be loved by a lot of people and hated by a lot of people. You know what I mean?
Gentlemen, if you want to switch your phones off now, I mean really properly off, and no recording.
Look, we have to take this gentleman right here and turn him into a master pickup artist.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you the 3 biggest concerns from my point, and hands up if you agree with that. Number 1, I'm afraid. Approach anxiety. Well, that's what it's called, the AA, approach anxiety. You need to learn how to handle it, or you need to get rid of it.
I'm sure we can all relate to the hot girl walking by. I'm stationary, and I'm thinking, second 1, second 2, second 3.
Obey the 3-second rule. You see the girl, 3 seconds, you must be approaching. You might not know what to say. Your stomach is eating your testicles for a bit of encouragement and nourishment, but at least you're moving over.
You need to go out to bars, you need to go out to nightclubs, you need to go out to the grocery store and talk to women.
Just have fun. You see, the best way for me to really be myself is to do silly things and do things that make me have fun. And sometimes you get rejected, and that's okay. Hi, how are you? And then you do silly stuff like that. You can reapproach, too. Sorry for weirding you out. I'm Andrew, by the way. I promise I'm... Where are you guys from? Okay, I'm not that annoying guy that always, I don't know why I want to talk to you. I don't know. Oh, okay, whatever. And then if you reapproach and you suck anyways, it doesn't matter.
Who here has ever been rejected? Say aye. Aye. Oh my God, so loud.
I actually have got a really unusual perspective on the industry, mostly because I'm a girl. What drew me to be a part of this was the fascination of it. I was fresh out of a psychology degree. I was really interested in human interaction and human behavior. All of the guys teaching were really only interested in what works. I was more interested in why it worked.
Why are men shit with women? One of the basic ones is because you're boring to listen to. But you can work on it. It's not about looks. It's about identity. You create that, I guarantee you will have choice, and that choice is very, very rewarding.
A lot of the industry works, and this is how the stuff in the game works, by creating a persona and teaching somebody how to be that person.
Servus, this is Max from Real Social Dynamics. Today I'm gonna talk to you about how to be a badass motherfucker. Okay.
We're going to be getting the girls chasing us. In all our way of being, we'll be conveying to them that we're accustomed to beauty, right? So they're gonna need a lot more than their looks alone in order to win us over.
Because beauty is their financial value initially.
Do you see how I've instantly become the prize in that statement?
But it has a shelf life. From the age of 30 plus, it starts to depreciate.
That's the game plan. That's the narrative for all pickups.
You need to choose a target. But to get to the hot one, you got to win over her friends. Engage everyone in the group. The little ugly one, the fat one, everyone gets engaged. Because the hot ones used to get more interested. Do the opposite. It's going to confuse her. Hold on, she's going to then want to interject a little bit more. Then you get the tease and challenge.
It does work. I wish it didn't. It works because it's not what girls are used to.
Lock in within 1 to 3 minutes. I want to lean back against a wall or a table or a bar. Looks like they're gaming me as opposed to me being the guy leaning in.
Your lock-in was like this, but it should have been like this. Or better, if that's your target, like this, where they have to earn you turning and showing more interest.
It makes the girl realize that you've got high value. It's a high valued male behavior to do that. 80% of attraction is demonstrating higher value. That's what DHVing is, the art of storytelling and bragging without bragging.
When people hear the term pickup, they often think about some sort of really smooth guy walking into a bar, delivering a one-liner. But actually, it's more of a process, really.
You got attraction, comfort, and seduction.
People say just be yourself and say whatever comes to mind. If be yourself was working, you wouldn't fucking be here in the first place.
There is a structure to solid pickup, a narrative arc from meeting a girl to beginning a sexual relationship. That arc follows a series of phases.
As complex as it might sound, this is what happens in normal courtship.
Each phase has an objective. I'm gonna name them now. A1, open.
I've got to be able to open, and I've got to be able to stimulate fast.
An opener is essentially a conversation starter. Something silly, like you look like a teacher. But that's good enough to start a conversation.
Bro, can I ask you a question? You're fine. Is this Ed Hardy? No.
No, it's Ross.
Wow, you got good style.
Ask me, do you do anything creative? Look, you do something creative. Get off the phone. Get off the phone now. And introduce yourself to me. Introduce yourself to me.
Nice to meet you.
We've got what's known as the FTC, false time constraint. If, for instance, I were to stand up and kick my chair in as if I was about to go, that's a false time constraint. It's not verbal, it's a non-verbal false time constraint. I can only stay a sec, I have my friends here, man. Ask for permission to sit down, and I'm back, right? It looks like I'm about to go, and then I can come back going, oh, okay, get this.
By the way, I just noticed before I head off, you had this kind of like really kind of like artistic, kind of like creative vibe.
Something you might say, something the pickup companies might teach you are these things called negs. Negs are negative comments or backhanded compliments you might say to a girl, like...
Apart from the sweaty hands, you're pretty cool.
Oh my God!
Let's go.
Like you could say, nice shoes. And where do you go from there? That's a compliment. Nice shoes. Thanks, my boyfriend bought them for me. And she shuts you down.
Girls, come here. Hi. Welcome to the party. My name is Max.
Giselle.
I love how you smell. Nah,
Really?
reminds me of my grandma.
Because when you first approach a girl, you're doing most of the talking. And at some point, you really have to get it equalized and get her to invest in you. Qualification is the tool you're gonna use here. I want to get her to try to prove herself worthy to me in different ways, okay?
Challenge her a little bit. That's called qualifying. You get to reward her. While you do that, you check you. Guys don't do that, or the guys who are not getting laid because they're just trying to impress.
How old are you, by the way?
You shouldn't escalate it away.
It's fine. I'm not judging you.
37.
You're 37?
Game works best on people with insecurities. It plays on insecurities. That's why it works.
If you were a little taller, I would totally make out with you.
It works on girls who are putting on an act themselves, being more confident than they really are. When a guy cuts through that to her vulnerable self, that's where it works and the power shifts.
You know when a woman really knows that she wants you? when she recognizes that another woman likes you too. That's called a jealousy plotline. I used to leave a Gucci shoe, an old spare Gucci shoe at the door, and girls all say, who's that? I don't know, some girl left it sometime. Comfort is a natural phase. I'm not going to get into loads of details. Build an emotional connection, then physical. When you feel that emotional connection, that is the moment that kissing should occur. If you don't do some sort of physical escalation then, you will pay the price later on.
ABC, always be closing. What do I mean by closing, though? What is a close? It's not just a number. It's a future plan. It's bouncing to another bar. It's many stages, but always have to be moving forward and closing.
Isolate.
Isolating, exactly.
And the next phase is seduction. S1 is called foreplay. It's just the natural phases. The next phase is LMR, last-minute resistance, the point of no return before sex occurs. This is that emotional wiring that says, fuck. If I fuck this guy, I might get pregnant, I might get in trouble. It's just an emotional thing. It's not rational. She really wanted to fuck you, but she's gonna get that sting. The worst thing you could do is be Mr. Overreactive. Mr. Okay, no worries, and I thought it was on, and make it a big drama. Sometimes they might just do it to see if your emotional circuitry is a bit miswired.
You have to know the difference between real resistance and unreal resistance, aka token resistance.
They might literally, slow this down. Yeah, it's no big deal. Come on, tell me about yourself. Pull her in, create tension. You ran and then push her away. Gently, just being playful, build that sexual tension, and then escalate again.
Her logical mind has to give at least some objections, even though she's really aroused already and she actually wants you to lead her.
But expect that there is this last-minute resistance.
If you have enough openers, you have enough false time constraints, you have enough negs, enough qualifier questions, and you have enough comfort building material, you learn the structure, anybody can do this. Open, neg, qualify, move, comfort, boom. Meet the objectives of each phase and you get the girl. That's how that works, right?
A lot of what these people are teaching you, it's almost like the rat brain experiments where if the rat goes down one pathway, you give it a treat. If it goes down the other, they give it a shock. They're treating women as if they're stimulus response machines, using reward and punishment. Oh, now I'm gonna nag her, now I'm gonna reward her.
We're going out with some friends for dinner now. Good. So they're busy.
This is how they think about people, as lab experiments.
Try to think outside the box. Don't just try to use this tactic or that tactic. Think, okay, what can I do to fuck this girl now? What can I do to learn? What can I do to push this situation a little bit more? What can I do to win over the whole club? What can I do to be fucking awesome? What can I do to have fun?
I was at university. I had an interest in learning about women, or learning to be better with women, and I had this knowledge on what people did in online businesses. So I had this idea that what if I contacted some pickup companies, and in exchange for learning more about how to be better with women, I gave them some help with marketing. With those first clients, it was like working with your heroes. I want to be like them. I want to have that level of confidence. I even changed the way I spoke to sound a bit more like them. I was so grateful to be learning about how to pick up women or just be better, even just get a girlfriend. I thought, if I can learn from these guys how to do that, it will all be worth it. And I will help them as much as they want.
Hey, was geht up? This is Max from Real Social Dynamics, and today we're in Cologne, Germany. And in this video, I want to talk about the 3 easy steps that you need to do in order to get from opening the girl all the way to engaging in sexual activities with the girl. And the first and foremost, most important point here is comfort. You have to be comfortable with yourself. It's like, I know I'm not gonna...
Figuring out how to get customers in an industry that isn't socially accepted is very difficult. You can't just take out a magazine ad saying, hey, let's teach you how to pick up women. Before, you had the game, and lots of people found out about pickup through that. Now, what tends to happen is someone will be sitting at their computer watching some random YouTube video, and in the related videos, you'll see a thumbnail which says, how to get a girl to like you. And you'll just click it, because what guy isn't interested in that? And you're then presented with this 20-minute speech by some pickup instructor, and you watch it, and you go, this is interesting. And you click on another video, and it's like, how to get laid. Every pickup seminar you went to or every pickup company you saw online would have in-field videos of them actually using the stuff that they were teaching. And you'd see them talking to women in nightclubs.
I love you.
You would see them kissing them or taking them home or even just flirting with them. And you would think, like, wow, I want to be able to do that. And when you saw someone do that, that was all the proof you needed that their stuff worked.
I saw you walking and you had this really sexy but artistic vibe going on. So I'm Justin, what's your name? All right, so we've already had over 200 million views from recording what you call hidden camera pickup videos. You just press a simple button like this, you know, and the light comes on. You can see a little light here. And then I put this across here. And yeah, it's actually recording right now.
Hey guys, it's Mystery.
I'm Baxter.
And we are here to tell you about the Golden Ticket Pickup Artist event. 3 days, 2 nights, August 4th, 5th, and 6th. This boot camp will kick you in the ass and get you going. Will get you started.
Boot camp is where a student will pay $1,000 to even $3,000 to spend an allotted amount of time with a pickup instructor. The pickup instructor will typically take you in-field where they will instruct you to approach women. But a boot camp is essentially you pay some money for 2 days with an instructor to learn how to pick up women.
So we're going to meet the boys now. I'm going to take them in field, get them in set, get them warmed up, and then critique them. And then the real game can start. All good?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Look good? Hey, man.
You good? Of course.
Remember to smile. Approach anxiety's beating you now. Just start walking. Walk, walk, walk with me. Walk, walk. Put your hands on down. Walk. Where are you going to go? Pick a set. Come on. Don't be an excuse artist, be a pickup artist. 2 set coming. Guys, open immediately. Guys, open immediately.
Can I take a piss first?
Yeah, of course.
And then I will open.
Ready? Set. 2 steps, bang, go. That's the second best shoes I've seen today. And then say, what are they, leopard? Who are your friends? Are they cool? Yeah, is that a good open up? Go. Hey, Eric, who are your friends? Are they cool? Go. Don't think. You're thinking, don't think. Right, you come with me. At the bar? Yeah. Say to, don't get me one, I can get my own. Be larger than life. Stand up, smile. Put your arm out. Take her. Right outside, where that canopy is, that's where a load of the boys have bounced 2 groups of women. Okay. Get your own group, merge it in. Now we merge all 3 sets. Okay. We start becoming the life of the party. Okay, let's open this chick right here on the road.
From what I saw, it looked like you were chasing them. And they knew it, and then they peeled away.
Did you leave the set?
Yes.
Why?
Because I'm a lot of fear.
No, go back in. Remember, always stay in as long as you can.
Yes.
Stay in as long as you can. Doesn't matter.
Okay. And what I say,
why do you want to leave on a good note when you could win the game?
Yes.
Go back. Say, guess what? How rude of me. I shouldn't have left you straight away. A lot of guys leave set when they're still in the friend zone, and they're like, oh, I'd like to feed my ego by leaving on a nice note, knowing that people like me, and then go home alone. What's the point in that? Go back in. Show them you've got some balls. That's what they respect. Someone with some courage, conviction, and does what they want to do in life.
Well, how was last night? That's what we're going to talk about. Did it look like I was gaming, or did it look like I was just enjoying my moments hanging out with the girls?
They were slowly warming up to me, but not really quick enough, so I actually left them there. I went, opened another set, sat down with them, chatted them up, and then I could see the previous set start to warm up. I kissed one and then the other. Yeah. And then the third friend was watching from the side, and I said, "You're feeling jealous and left out, aren't you?" We were kissing. Yeah. We were kissing. They were French. They were French girls. Literally.
We just started running about a little bit. And then
I opened a nice 2 German set. Who was with me? I think it was Michael, and Eric was there.
Right? That's still on. I'm not giving up on this
Exactly.
one. Yeah.
But it's just to invite them out to something you're already doing. Like, I'm at the W Hotel, come get some sun. When do you call them? Do you wait the obligatory 2 days? No. Well, it's hot. Show your interest. You're allowed to, especially since you got a contact information, right? You can show interest.
Did you kiss? No, I didn't.
No, but they shared a cigarette, and that was an intimate thing, back and forthing the cigarette, and they were hand-holding and arm in arm.
I can believe how it worked as well whenever I came out, but I didn't think that was good fun.
Now, you can't often sell someone a bootcamp straight off the bat, right? To try and demand $1,000 or $3,000 from someone who has just heard about you is very difficult. So what you do in business is you ease people in slowly. You start with free content, then you sell them something that's maybe $10. You might charge $10 for a 7-page guide on text messages to send the girl. Then you sell them something that's maybe between $50 to $100, because that is a small investment. Now they are more likely to spend more money with you. So then you pitch them a $200 to $500 product. That might be a live event that costs that much. That might be a more in-depth video course. Once they've spent that much money with you, they will again feel more comfortable spending even more money with you. So then you can sell them a $1,000 to $3,000 bootcamp because they've been through the video course. They're still not meeting women, but they know what they need to do, so they come on a bootcamp to get practical experience.
Welcome to day game. Okay, talking to girls during the day. Day game is different than night game. Here during the day, people have shit to do. Many guys do like, they try to do the hard stuff. Like some girls walk by, it's like, hey, excuse me. And the girl's like, whoa, freaking out, like, what's happening? I can't, right? You guys got that? It's like, no. So what I would do much rather is walking with. And when I'm walking with, there's a big difference as well. What does the newer guy do? Like if the girl walks like this, he's like, oh, excuse me. She's like totally creepy, right, behind her. And she gets the feeling, like, this guy's following me, like, what's up? What I would do is I would walk 1 to 2 steps ahead of her and I'd chat over his shoulder, like, oh yeah, blah, 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 blah. That takes all the pressure off her. You're walking your way, she's walking her way.
You look very nicely dressed for Miami Beach. Are you from here? Hi, I'm Andrew. Nice to meet you. Sophia? Cool. I thought you were cute. I guess I wanted to come talk to you, but...
Actually, on my way back to work.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. It takes a lot of guts to do this. It really does. Let's be honest. And it takes desperate measures. I had to be really desperate to get good with girls, to find the one in order for me to come out here. Excuse me. I think you're very cute. You have to talk to me for a minute. No? No, you don't. You're right. When I was 18 years old, I went for a really bad breakup. My girlfriend, she found someone else. It was easy. She was a very beautiful girl. And then when I wanted her back, she said, no, I already have someone else. And that crushed me. It crushed my ego. It crushed me as a person. I had a lot of social anxiety. And for some reason, I didn't do well with it. I started looking up how to get good with girls. I had heard some guy mention a book about it, and I researched it on YouTube, and it really resonated with me. Hey, these guys were kind of nerdy, just like me, and they did it. Why can't I do it? I'm just, what I like to do sometimes is to just do silly things and be like, hi. Hi. What's up? What are you up to?
Heading to tacos.
Tacos.
Yeah.
I like tacos.
You like them?
Yeah.
Barbara.
Barbara? Where are you from?
Argentina.
I'm Colombian.
Oh,
I really like your energy.
thank you.
Yeah. You would think that if some random guy went up to you like this, you'd be like weirded out.
It was weird.
How long are you guys here for?
I'm leaving in 4 days. She's leaving in April.
Cool.
Okay, you come or what?
You're inviting me.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay. Let's do it. Honestly, that was such a poor approach that I didn't think it was gonna work out. That sometimes I'm just like, what? Sometimes it's just going up and just being there and saying hi. And literally, that's all it is. To be honest, I only get about 5% of the numbers of the girls that I go up to. It's rare when it actually works out. It's very rare when I actually meet a girl and she likes me and I like her. But whenever that happens, oh my God. Honestly, there's no other better feeling. Spending time with a girl that you connect with, I love it, honestly.
This is where I originally started in Union Square a few years ago, way back in the day, in the dark ages of the seduction community.
A lot of times when you start talking about dating advice and things of this nature, a lot of women will kind of they'll have this idea that it's easy or it just comes natural or just be yourself. But in reality, for women, it does come a lot easier. Why? Because culturally, they've kind of been brought up, and every single day, like, guys approach the woman. It is like the guys go after the women, the guys pursue the women, the guys tell them that they're attractive, the guys like hit on the girls. Girls don't usually go out of their way to approach guys and hit on guys. So generally, one way that you can kind of realize if somebody's out here practicing or not is most guys aren't out here getting as physical with strangers as we will, as quickly as we will. When you're not physically escalating on that stranger, you're emphasizing the fact that you are a stranger. You're actually really fucking cute. Where are you going? Where are you going? Don't throw me away. 2 seconds. Dance with me here. Dance with me here. Fuck Barnes and Noble. Generally, you want to get physical right away and make a little playful, like, taps on the arm or whatnot, or like a little light handhold where you, like, objectively, you want to hold that as long as she'll allow it and get her used to your physicality.
You know why I'm this fast with you right now? Do you know why? We're always touching the girl. We're always doing things as if we're their boyfriend. If you saw us from a mile away, you would think that we're already a couple in a certain phase of the pickup, maybe 15 minutes in, 10 minutes in, sometimes even sooner than that. I don't know if you ever heard of... We get a coffee? We're going to get coffee, yeah.
What are we men attracted to? What do people say? Looks, right? That's the base you just... Now, of course, you can have an emotional connection with a girl, but the first thing that pops up when we find a female attractive is looks. For a girl, she's searching for something different. Because thousands of years ago, what kind of male would be the best male for her offspring? The alpha male. This is the strongest guy, this is the leader guy, he knows what's up. He's not gonna be some beta male who will give me weak offspring.
It's a known fact that women respond to dominance from men. Okay? If you read some of these romance novels that were in the apex of a female's mind, you know, the darkest secrets, those darkest secrets, is always the guy being dominant, being the alpha male, making her do things she doesn't want to do, right? It's always that way.
The following presentation is controversial and may be offensive to some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Today, we show an epic pickup video that shows the full process of approaching two friends, taking them on dates at 2 separate times, and eventually taking each girl home. These girls were perfect strangers that were just met. You will see how to deal with the girls who are not fully into you right away. These type of girls are called the maybe to know girls. So now we're gonna talk about the date with the target. As soon as she comes, she starts talking about, you know, her boyfriend, all this nonsense, which made me wonder, why the fuck did you even come? Like, a lot of time a girl's gonna say all kind of shit to you, tell you you're a player, all this stuff. Your objective is not to listen to women at all, okay? Fuck what women say. They don't know what the fuck they want. You have to show them what they want.
Some of these guys, they've had it the other way around for so long. So suddenly when they're in a position where they can sort of take a girl down a peg or two and it's them that's got the power for once, I think sometimes they can see it as like payback time, you know, revenge.
It's a small time window to get the girl interested, but after that point, man, my game changed completely. It's all about structuring opportunities for her to chase me. And the funny thing is when a woman has more power in a relationship, she doesn't know what the fuck she wants to do. And she ends up fucking cheating on him, breaking up for no fucking reason because she's confused and all kind of nonsense. Hey, you know, my relationships are very fucking dominant. You know, like forget all the glitz and glam with like the initial pickup that you see. Obviously, I'm being nice to kind of like, you know, for my style, it works for me. But like, that's only the initial pickup. But as long as they do what I say, I treat them really good. And then when they don't, I will punish their ass in multiple ways. Right? Of course.
Sometimes you see this real, like, anger come out of these guys.
Do not reward bad behavior. She sit out and then you were waiting on for her and you said you come and collect her, she didn't phone you. That's like the puppy dog pissing all over your kitchen, shitting, chewing your cushions, and you walk in and go, have a little treat, doggy.
You know, women deserve this. They deserve to be taken down because they've had the power all this time, because that's their perception of it. In their world, the women have had the power and they've had nothing. They've been the worthless one.
Your thought of girl is always girl and men are not equal. That is the big problem.
I can see other girls while she can't see other guys.
Yeah, we are equal. If you did, I do.
No, you don't. That's what I'm saying. Like I said, she's talking big for the camera right now. But those were the terms, obviously, that you agreed to in the relationship, you know? And, you know, at any time, obviously...
Yeah, even I said...
Obviously, you know, like, you do have your rights and you don't have to.
Yeah.
Obviously, and if you do want to see other people, you can, but then, obviously, you know what happens. I do fuck other girls beside Asian girls, too. I just like them because they're obedient, good little dogs.
It can become, for some of them, more about the respect of their male peers in the industry than about getting girls. And that's a very dangerous place for it to go as well, because that's when they'll happily start degrading women to sort of show off.
Yo, what's good up? This is Max and Julian from Real Social Dynamics. Welcome to a special edition, maybe using Max, where you can ask us 3 questions as there are lifestyle, game, and random.
At least in Tokyo, if you're a white male, you can do what you want. And that's what I realized.
Real Social Dynamics got in trouble because one of the instructors, Julian Blanc, uploaded a video on YouTube which had some clips of him teaching some students. In the video, he made some derogatory comments about women.
And I pull her in, and she kind of like laughs and giggles. And all you have to say to kind of like take the pressure off is just yell Pikachu or Pokemon or Tamagotchi or something. So that was when I opened, I'm like, Pikachu, 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 like that.
And there were some clips of him grabbing women's heads and putting them on his crotch.
I'm romping through the streets, just like grabbing girls, and my open's like head, poof, on dick. Head on dick, yelling Pikachu with a Pikachu shirt. And it was ridiculous. I have the infield of this, it's awesome. And then like even going up to groups and like 1 by 1, 2 at a time, and it's the happiest I've ever been.
And that video went online and it spiraled out of control. Gossip blogs picked up on the video, and after the gossip blogs picked up on it, the news channels picked up on it.
Hashtag choking around the world, and his suggestion that men should pick up women by going and grabbing them by the throat or forcing their heads places we can't even talk about on breakfast television. Well, yes, the suggestion of that, clearly the line has been crossed.
There's no doubt that he is an incredibly morally reprehensible man. Not only is he offensive to women and has a very negative view of women, but he's offensive to men as well, suggesting men want the same things he wants.
I just couldn't believe that this guy was videotaping himself assaulting women and getting away with it without impunity, and then pass these disgusting views and methods on to other men. RSD is not... I knew that I could not go to them for accountability, and that's the only way to take somebody like him down is public shame. It is to show that anybody associated with a person in an organization like this is tarnishing their own name. I just started tweeting away and a fucking hashtag take down Julian Blank. I didn't know if I was gonna be able to do anything, but I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna try it anyway.
I was running an event, and there were people protesting in Australia because of my colleague, Julian Blanc. Oh shit, actually, I'm not allowed to talk about Julian. Maybe I could frame it in a way where I don't mention Julian. I mean, I could just say I was outside of a venue. And I was standing there, and I was running that event, and I was actually talking about meditation. And this woman, like, runs through the crowd, and she slaps me. The slap was filmed as well, so that went viral. I always try to hold eye contact with people in the crowd. You know, I pan from left to right, hold eye contact. I saw in every single guy's face fear. They just want to go to a seminar, learning how to be confident. Yes, how to pick up chicks as well. I'm not gonna be like, I'm just a meditation guy. Like, yes, we were about to also talk about how to pick up chicks and stuff like that. Because I was afraid as hell. I was afraid as hell at that moment. I'm like, what's gonna happen to me?
We've got plenty of police here. Once already.
Yeah, guys. Be cool, guys. Stay calm. Stay calm. Be cool, guys. There's no way to any ego. You're above this. Be a really chill person. Be very adult. Just don't be reactive. Remember, be assertive and not reactive. Be cool. Assertive. What's happening? What's up? They're attacking us. Let's go.
Walk of shame, you scumbag! Hey, fucking cunt!
Julian was kicked out of Australia. He got banned from other countries. There were protests, there were petitions, and hundreds of thousands of people signing those petitions. I have friends that didn't know I was working in the pickup industry, who signed those petitions. The emotional outrage, the emotional reaction people had to it was insane.
We live in a culture that is constantly battling to teach men how to treat women with respect. We have problems with it everywhere we look. And then you do this.
Again, it was a horrible, horrible attempt at humor. You know, they were also like taken out of context in a way where...
How could they be taken out of context? Give me the good use of choke a woman.
You can make anything look bad in a picture.
This is an abuse hotline, a woman's protection palette where you're supposed to see different signs of things that are being done to you that you should be careful about as a woman. You used it into an empowerment model for some, pathetic man group, right?
He just got everyone hating him without even knowing the background. Just seeing the clips of however they've been edited. And then they're like, oh, because it was on the news, it was true. Which we know is the opposite normally. It's the opposite.
I think you're backing away from what you teach because it's getting you in trouble.
I'm not. I'm just, again, I apologize, and I take responsibility for it. It was something that I never should have posted online, but I do just want to clarify that's not what I teach. None of my clients do this, and I don't make my clients do this either.
The life of anyone's attention span is a week or two, so after a week or two, it started to fade away again, and there was someone else to pick on. I don't know, Russell Brand or whatever, I don't know.
What the media did with Julian, they could have done with any of the pickup instructors. Just the fact that someone would record themselves picking up women and sleeping with them is questionable in itself. A woman doesn't know that she's being filmed. A woman doesn't know that the person picking her up is doing it to prove something to some students.
You think it's fair to me when you have a girl here and you want to hang out with her?
She believes that she's sleeping with this guy because this guy genuinely likes her. And he wants to have a relationship or wants to have sex with her, but on a consensual basis. She has absolutely no idea that this is for a business.
Up until that point, if you look at my brand, I was like the new guy, I was like the funny, like, hey guys, And then people were like, holy shit, there's this young dude, and he just got slapped. And he's standing there, and he's not freaking out, he's like cool. I got like thousands of messages, like literally thousands of messages like, hey dude, respect.
I think if you take a young guy and you couple camaraderie, hero worship, and like the power of the orgasm and sexual conquest, and how much having a beautiful girl on one's arm is like socially validating in our society and all that. Put that all together, it's like an intoxicating brew for a young guy to get caught up in. It's so potent. The real gold dust is when you build a business like some of these other guys you've interviewed, and not only are you getting the validation and you're getting the physical pleasure of conquest, but you're also getting paid thousands of dollars to do this. It's like the perfect storm.
Who likes to play video games? Hands up. Yeah.
It was a $1 to $2 million business for several years, but I got off the merry-go-round in my mid-30s. I actually had, prior to getting married, probably 6 long-term relationships. So I never was a guy who thought this was the only way to live. As I approached marriage, there was a lot of people who felt I had let them down. How could you, man? What a betrayal. I thought you were gonna like you were my hero, and now you've given up. But man, yeah, they got pissed. They didn't like it. But it begs the question, like, what did they want me to do? Just like ride off on my horse into the horizon? This isn't a good look at 70, man. A lot of the unspoken stuff or unheralded is the sense of male community in these places. Some of these guys who are socially isolated actually have found a brotherhood, and it's not even really about the women. It's more about the other men and the sense of acceptance and joining and belonging.
Look at these bad boys.
1 year ago, do you know that feeling when everything is good, but you don't feel good with yourself? You know what I mean? I don't. That's kind of sad to say, but I really needed to find some meaning to my life, something I really wanted to do and pursue and grow. You have helped me so much. My life has really improved. Sorry about that. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Just thank you, everyone, and that's it.
Who's up next?
When you think about how much students idolize the instructors, it's hard not to see pickup companies as cults, because the instructors have so much power over the students.
So if you all stand up for a moment. All right, so I want you to stretch out for a second. Who's seen the film 300? Yeah? Remember the war cry the Spartans do? I'm gonna do that. So I'll do it first, and then we all do it together. Yeah? Yeah. Cool. So Spartans! Woo, woo, woo. So now we do it all together. You ready? Spartans! Woo, woo, woo.
You cannot question them, you know? You have to just follow it. These guys build a cult of personality around themselves, and like there are some followers who might be casual followers, but then there are also like vapid fanboys who like really believe in this stuff. And you, if anything, like contrary to what these guys are saying, it's like, oh well, then you're not a true believer. It's like, it's so weird and very toxic. Like you really can't be a reasonable human being at all without getting loads of hate from that community.
The message that I want to send to the whole pickup community is RSD is like a church. It's like the Catholic Church or like a Buddhist church. People treat RSD like religion. It helps them to define who they are. It helps them to form their future. It helps them to give them belief systems. It gives them like faith in times of trial and trust. It truly is like a church, almost a cult.
One of the appeals of the PRA thing is to take disenfranchised men and teach them a skill set that they can like get back and get a piece of their own.
It's a new way of thinking. A new way of thinking is basically, not conforming to what everyone else is doing.
The students feel like the instructors are their saviors, because the students started as someone very unhappy with their life. So they feel like the instructor came in and saved them. They provided them with a cure to their problem, and that's why the instructor becomes their hero. And when you have someone you respect that much, that person can tell you to do anything. And there's very few things that you wouldn't do.
Well, while you're in the subway, she was saying that she doesn't want to come to your house.
Yeah, she said, I'm not coming to your place.
How'd you get her home?
I basically, forcefully, but playfully, pushed her into the train.
This is what you call risky eagerness. Yeah. I like to talk about risky eagerness. If you didn't do this, I don't think you this
no, I don't think
sex or anything.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
When I first came into this industry, I was just there to be a girl for guys to practice conversation on. So they would learn some conversation skills, and then they would come and practice them on me. I actually really despise game, pickup. I don't like anything that uses lies or manipulation to attract a woman. And I feel like there are aspects of this industry that definitely do that. And I've never wanted to be anything to do with that. And so I stopped teaching for a while I got my head around all this stuff.
Quick question. Are those technically galoshes?
The most success I ever had with women was when I was the most pathological and the absolutely least caring. It's a common thing that men feel what we call approach anxiety. They get nervous around women. So a guy can go up and he can flub the line, or he can stutter or stammer or just get blush cheeks. These are all normal things.
I just parked and I don't know, how does this work?
What makes someone good and able to teach in this field is through doing this again and again and again, you kill that nervousness, which is, I think, a part of our humanity, the excitement and trepidation of talking to an object of our desire. What happens when you become a good player or whatever is all that stuff is muted. So you feel nothing talking to the girl, but the thing is then when you get her, it's just slightly satisfying. There's no emotional resonance. It's a penetrating loneliness. I think part of my getting out of that world was realizing part of myself was dying on that. And the more I did that, the better I became, the more I died inside. That youthful, exuberant, overexcited boy, that 7-year-old who was excited about the girl and wanted to give the flower, as he died, and I said, but it all doesn't matter. If you lose that part of your life, is overall flat. And I've recovered that, and in my marriage and in my connection with my wife, without talking too much, but that I'm able to refine my humanity. The really good guys in the pickup space have killed part of themselves off in the name of duty. They have a hard time moving their emotional needle. The better they get, the more they got to give until they've given all of their humanity in the pursuit of this thing. But what's left? It can become empty and unfeeling. And the longer someone does that and the deeper they go, I think the more damage they can do.
Hey guys, Bruce Wayne, and today I'm going to interview Justin Wayne. And we're gonna talk about how to keep multiple hot women in your life. But first, we're gonna show you hidden camera footage where Justin picks up women from the streets of New York, makes them his girlfriends, gets them to tattoo his name to show their devoted love, brings them all together, and then finally reveals they were on camera all along. And believe it or not, they all stick around afterwards.
What did I lie to you about? Tell me what I lied to you about.
You told me that it's us now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So why are you loving her?
She feels uncomfortable. You say you feel uncomfortable being around her too? You both feel uncomfortable being around each other?
I don't feel uncomfortable with her. I just feel uncomfortable with the situation. Yeah.
Whoever doesn't like it, you can just walk away. That's it. I'm not forcing anyone to do anything they don't want to do. That's all I'm gonna say.
These girls seriously hated each other. You can see in their eyes this fury, like, how come this other girl has his name tattooed? I want to open myself, like, Justin puts them like, yo, you guys can't do this, you have to be friends. It's like their dad or something.
If you hit the momentum going up, that's when you learn the quickest. And that's why we do a 7-day, 7-night residential. Live in with us, live and breathe with us.
We should talk about Saint-Tropez, like Project Hollywood, but in Saint-Tropez on a beach. We've got a 6-bedroom mansion. We've sold 3 of them. We've got 3 bedrooms left. Your fucking game's good, man. I think you're ready.
Almost with every company I've worked with, there gets to a point where the numbers become really enticing to the pickup company.
If we knock $1,000 off the mentorship for anyone that signs up today,
that's
9,000.
pretty hefty, dude.
Once you guys get the ball rolling, man, you're gonna get some guys that'll drop 25 grand to work with you for 2 weeks.
Okay.
When this happens, the instructors or the people who started the company, the pickup company, they start seeing their customers as figures and numbers. Some of the humanity is lost.
So what you can do is you can do a payment plan. Okay, so you can pay 50 euros now, 50 euros the next month, and then next month, and next month, and so on. You also get the bonuses today.
With any product in the pickup business, everything is just a case of how much profit was made. What can you spend to still be profitable?
This is for like the lay reports, the bonus, 50 Shades of Max.
I hate to talk about this, but there have been pickup companies that will hire escorts at a bootcamp just so that the men have a good experience and buy another bootcamp or buy more training. Let's say it's $1,500 for the bootcamp. The instructor is paid $700. You hire an escort for $200, you still have $600 remaining. None of the companies I've worked with have ever done that. But I'm aware of all the companies that have. If you're involved in the business, instructors will speak openly about it.
When we looked deeper into RSD, they were saying, like, when you go into the field to practice on girls, they actually hire some of those girls. I mean, some of them are just poor women at the bar that, you know, they're practicing on, but in terms of their field footage, it's like they hire people to do that. It's not real.
This happens a lot. This happens a lot, even with the companies I worked with. The instructor would hire actors for the infield videos. And that is clearly unethical. That is clearly unethical.
Things have become completely corrupt. If that company is saying, oh, we're offering 9 out of 10 success with women, this company is going to have to offer 10 out of 10 success with women, then where do you draw the line?
I'll tell you, with Neil, his first 6 months were harsh. But the next 6 months, he had 70 girls. 70 in 6 months.
It's like, he kisses a girl on the street. He must be an actress.
Yes, I've heard some people use actresses. I've never heard escorts, though.
Of course. Those are just actresses. Yeah, oh, thank God. Now I don't have to take action myself. If there were actresses, I would have paid good, better-looking actresses.
So, no, we don't entertain any of that stuff.
What the customers believe is going on is they think anytime a pickup instructor goes and speaks to women, it goes incredibly well. That's the myth.
You're the best. I love you. I will
Goodbye.
not kiss you, though.
Goodbye.
Kiss you on the cheek.
Rejection, rejection.
The reality is these pickup instructors spend an entire day filming themselves approaching women and speaking to them. And 98% of those interactions will not go well. So what they would do, they would take just the shows that went well, and what you see while you are at a seminar is just success after success after success. You just make the assumption that's just how it goes every time. You have no concept that there were 95 other shots that they are not showing you. And I would never have known that had I not worked with them. They were no longer my heroes. That was a very strange experience because you go from putting these people on a pedestal and thinking they have their entire life together and they are the way they are on stage. But that's just a performance.
Yeah, they want me to do another hot seat there.
Really?
Yeah.
Sick. Well, it's money.
Yeah.
The rest of the time they spend stressing out about the business, about videos, how they're gonna do a live event. But the students don't see that side of it. The students are aspiring to be something that isn't actually real.
When teachers are charging people thousands to come and do a course and they're guaranteeing them results, well, there's a huge incentive for them to push to get those results.
Come with us! You're going with Jens and us. You're partying with us. Jens, we're gonna make her fuck you tonight, okay? How's that? We're gonna get you late tonight. She's like, fuck you, Jens. Fuck you, Jens, man.
You know what? Jamba Juices basically has the best juices in New York. It's right over there. Let's take them here quickly. We have to go now, but we'll show you where it is. Let's go. Tour guide. Hey, Bruce, Jamba Juice is over there. Yeah. Where's Jamba Juice? All right.
When you're walking a girl home, she's going to maybe start putting up all these defenses. Particularly if someone's had a few drinks or something, let their inhibitions go a little bit, and maybe they find themselves going home with a guy that they've just met.
Oh, yeah, rooftop here. Boom. It's a public place. You'll see. Let's go. It's a public place.
They might start to sober up a bit and think, hang on a minute, what am I doing? I don't do this. Game will teach a guy how to handle that sort of situation and how, but not with the girl's best intentions, of course.
With pickup advice, you would get very specific too, to a single line. Lines like, oh, don't worry, we're just gonna go back to an after party. But there is no after party. And just a line to get that girl back to your house.
You don't believe us? There's a doorman right there. There's a doorman right there who works here. All right? Let's talk to the doorman.
The girls stop and they look at us like, wait, the juice place is in there?
So yeah, so that, yeah.
Try to bullshit, like, yeah, of course, it's right in here.
And then my target was just like, no, I'm not going in there, right? It's paying hard to get.
So they won't say to the girl in the club, do you want to come home with me? They'll say, do you want to go and get an ice cream or something like that? And then they'll just walk her to their house. A lot of guys will say, you're just creating a situation in which she feels more comfortable. It's what she wants to do anyway. You're just helping her to do that because she's got so many mental blocks that are going to get in the way.
This is my bedroom. No, this is my bedroom. Come inside. Let's go. Let's make love in my bedroom. Hey, come on. It's okay. It's okay. Everything's fine. This is not a bedroom. Okay?
But then they'll maybe keep pushing to a point where she's not comfortable with it. And then she'll feel like she's gone so far and she's not comfortable anymore, but it's too late to go back, or a situation like that. And I think then you're in a situation where it's up to the guy's morals to do what's right. In that situation where he's got a girl in his house, with the best will in the world, I think some guys will just not do the right thing.
My name is Jackie Spear. I'm a congresswoman from California. I've been in Congress now about 10 years, and I focus in on issues around violence against women. I'm always amazed at how we don't know everything, and that something like this pickup industry is going on without our knowledge. When you start to evaluate the products, whether it's books or classes or training, you begin to realize that it's a very predatory industry against women. I think that it's very important to raise everyone's awareness about this. It's astonishing to me that this industry is as widespread as it appears to be. The subculture that is being created in this industry, let's face it, it's all about money, is this expectation that this woman is mine for the taking. And I just need to use these techniques and I will conquer her. But in the process of doing that, if there is not consent, you have a rape. You have a sexual assault.
911, Krista?
Hi, I'm calling because my friend is just...
I can't hear you. Your friend what?
Has been raped.
Are you guys together right now?
Yes.
Where at?
We're downtown. I don't know what apartment.
It's a big
apartment building.
Okay. Is the suspect still there?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I really need to know where you guys are at. Let me know when you have the address, okay, so we can send somebody right away.
Okay.
Do you know this guy's name?
You know what his name was? I don't know what his name was.
Okay.
In the fall of 2013, a couple of young men moved into one of the properties I manage, and I noticed all of a sudden a lot of early morning traffic coming and going. The tempo of the building changed, the vibe in the building changed, and usually that signaled like some kind of crime spree, like car breaks or something. Then I saw an incident where two young women were walking out, and one of the young women was just walking out like this, and I just had a really sinking feeling that something bad had happened. I checked the video, and I did have the young woman on camera, and I started watching crimemapping.com, and then I saw a report of rape in the area, so I contacted the police department and asked, please have the detective call me so we can check video, and if there's any evidence, turn it over to the police.
Two young women went out for a fun girls' night in the Gaslamp district. At bar time closing around 2 o'clock in the morning, while waiting for their Uber, they were approached by two men. The men appeared to be nice-looking, friendly, and they invited them back to an after party at their apartment, just a few blocks from where they were waiting for the Uber. Once they got to the apartment, one of the women was led to a bedroom with one male. She recalls taking a sip of something. Next thing she knows is everything was kind of hazy. Ultimately, the friend and the second male entered the apartment, where the friend saw a third male lying on the couch. The friend and the second male went into another bedroom where they proceeded to have a beer and engage in conversation. At some point, the victim's friend got a little nervous. She didn't understand where her friend was. She wanted to check up on her. She walked through the apartment, opened up the other bedroom door, and saw her friend lying face down, unconscious in a pool of vomit, their dress off. She saw the first male that they had met on the street, along with a third male, the one who had been observed on the couch, standing there naked, erect, and laughing. We get a lot of cases that involve alcohol, unfortunately. When someone is so intoxicated that they cannot consent, it's called rape by intoxication. They are extremely difficult cases to prove because a lot of times the only people who have evidence are the victim and the defendant. Because of the victim's intoxication, the defendant can write the story. The victim in this case had no idea who these males were. The only information she had was from her friend who had seen one of the male's driver's license. When the victim's friend and one of the perpetrators were in the bedroom, she asked his name, and he told her that his name was Jonas Dick. And she did not believe that his name was Dick, and he showed her his driver's license. The victim went online through a lot of her own investigation, was able to locate a Jonas Dick from Kansas on this website called RSD Nation. The victim did some further computer research where she found that Jonas Dick was also an instructor on a website called efficientpickup.com. There was another male also on efficientpickup.com as an instructor, and that was Alexander Smith. The victim recognized Alexander Smith to be one of the perpetrators, one of the individuals who assaulted her on that evening. The victim then read through a lot of these blogs that were a part of efficientpickup.com, and one of the blogs that she came across was a blog by Alex Smith, and it was titled LR Lay Report, Run a Train with Boot Camp Student. She located further a blog by Jason Berlin, who was a boot camp student. Mr. Berlin went into great detail about what happened in that room.
So they, kind of put it out there, wrote a confession and put it online for the whole world to see.
This incident occurred in a time where I was questioning my life and was very confused. I did not have many friendships or romantic relationships. I became impatient and embarrassed when I was unsuccessful in developing friendships and relationships with women. I then made the biggest mistake of my life and began paying thousands of dollars for what I naively believed was a mentorship.
I don't know how new this is. Apparently, the pickup artist industry has been around for a long time. But the callousness of these individuals, especially Mr. Smith and Mr. Dick, who were creating this company and teaching people how to essentially overcome obstacles, taking advantage of women and raping them, is something that I had never seen. I mean, the fact that they have this vocabulary and this mindset and that they're teaching it to people, and then they brag about it. That's what's so disturbing to me, is that they find it funny. I mean, if you saw the victim and the friend talked about how when she was leaving in her pool of vomit, they were laughing at her, and then went onto a website bragging about it and saying, this is fucking hilarious. They think it's hilarious.
The majority of teachers are teaching some form of process that's quite unemotional. You know, put in this input, you'll get this output. And in the process of dehumanizing women, they are also dehumanizing themselves by becoming unemotional and, you know, treating people badly and not feeling any remorse or guilt about that. Not having any empathy. It dehumanizes everybody in the process, not just the girls, but also the student too. That's why I do want to be a part of this, because I think it does need to be shown for what it is, as a warning to potential students and to girls.
I think what has been lost is that men don't have real mentors anymore. We have school teachers and we have parents who often have such busy schedules they don't have time for their kids. And what we're left with are books and the internet just to learn how life works. We don't have the strong father figures we used to have 50 or 100 years ago. Growing up, I had a lack of that in my life. My friends too, growing up, they had a lack of that in their lives. Not only friends from the pickup industry, but friends in general. That's my personal opinion.
Some instructors, I feel like they're unhappy. I don't feel like they're really happy. I looked at them inside, like I look at their actions and they're not really there. And so I need to pause, relax, and ask myself, why am I here?
What game or pickup can do for some people is to create this way of having closeness, physical closeness with a girl, but without having to actually be intimate or put any feelings at risk, without actually having to feel at all. But if you don't allow yourself to feel pain, then you're not going to be allowing yourself to feel love either. And I think if you really look at these people, is there any love in their life? There's lots of women, but is there any love?
The dating game as practiced nowadays, which is quite aggressive, I think, it's a loveless pursuit. People are out for themselves, people are trying to get laid, or they're evaluating people. It's quite a mercenary environment. And now that I'm married, I have a lot of love in my life. My whole life is infused and surrounded by love. Having dated all these women, many of them cosmetically, it's very sexy and stunning. Like, the thing that's rare is not good looks. The thing that's rare is character. How do they show discipline and boundaries? How do they respond to disappointment? How reliable are they? How do they handle money? And actually, when you think of people lasting, you see old people that are just skeletal, their skin sagging, they're hobbling along. What determines success in the long run is character, not cosmetics. Young guys often get distracted by cosmetics to the detriment of their lives,
Guys want you to give them this magic wand that will make girls find them attractive, because they don't realize that it's an option for girls to find them attractive for who they really are. And actually, the girl who finds them attractive for who they really are is going to be the right person for them as well. We're so conditioned to feel that we should be something different. And I feel like this is sort of perpetuating that and going, actually, you're not good enough. You need to be like this alpha character that can get any girl he wants. If you've created a false personality, you're only going to ever have a false love. And maybe that's not, maybe you don't care. Maybe at the moment you don't care and you're not bothered about love. You're bothered about getting lots of girls' numbers. But one day you will. It's a human instinct.
And that's why you interviewed me, that you said you're the one guy you've met who's made the leap. I'm fascinated in 10 years how all these hard-hitting PUA gurus resolve, how do they bridge to the next stage of life? Ross Jeffries would be interesting because I think he whimpered into middle and late age, and I think that's a lesson.
Someone once said to me, Ross Jeffries, I thought you were an urban myth. Fucking funny, huh? Ross Jeffries is a character, and frankly, I'm tired of playing him. It's just, it's one thing to do it when you're 30, 40, but when you're 58 years old, it gets draining. Do you understand? So over here is my bookshelf. And this is the clunky little piece of shit book I self-published back in 1988. It's pretty shameful. There's a lot of, there's a lot of humor, but there's a lot of anger in it too. I was misogynistic back then. I had a lot of anger, a lot of frustration. Not anymore. I've grown too old to have those attitudes. No, I've matured out of it. This is a most embarrassing memento. This was taken sometime in 1988 or so. You can see I look a little different nowadays. I actually think I'm better looking. I like to think of how my life would have been if, knowing what I know now, I could go back in time and implant it in that young guy's head. I think my life would be tremendously different. But those kind of what ifs don't do any good. The what ifs are what ifs in the future and in the immediate present. Those are the ones that do good. Girls, what are you doing? I started a subculture and an industry. I am not responsible for where people have taken it. They've taken it in their own perverted direction. Anyone with the advent of YouTube and Facebook can pop up and claim to be a guru, and I think there's a lot of cruelty in it and misogyny and all the things I grew out of. And I think there's a lot of it lacks compassion. A lot of these guys are just out to shark and consume the people who they're teaching. They're vultures. I call them vultures, devourers of hope. They devour the hope of men. And take their money and leave them empty shells. And there are many people. I could have, believe me, I could have $1 million or so in my pocket that I could sorely use right now had I been willing to play ball with the major companies. They all came to me, except for one, except for Real Social Dynamics. They all came to me at one time or another and said, would you endorse our seminars? We'll give you 50% commission. I said, no, go fuck yourself. And I have a conscience. I have to express my passion, and I can't do that if I'm endorsing something I don't believe in. Here's what I would add. Caveat emptor, let the buyer beware. Let the buyer beware. That's what I'd add. Let the buyer beware. What's the matter? Come here, Biddy. It's okay. She doesn't like the camera. Come here, Tessa. Come here, baby. You gonna have some chow? What are you gonna do? Come on. Yes, she's my little cutie. Isn't she a beauty? Tell me you don't think that's a beautiful cat. Are you recording sound? So, this is Tazzleberry. Taz is a Maine Coon cat. I've had her 16 years. She's an old lady. Maine Coon cats tend to be very large. They're like one of the larger breeds of cats. But Taz was the runt of the litter. She's seen Daddy through a lot of interesting times. Pernilla Jones, come here. My other kitty. Come here, Pernilla. Pernilla is a tortoiseshell tabby. You're a naughty no-no, I'll tell you that. So Pernilla is quite jealous when I talk to my lady on the phone. Pernilla is not happy about it. She tries to knock the phone out of my hand. Come up here, get some brushies. I've had, or rather Pernilla has had me about 3 years. She's my cat wife. I think she thinks we're married. She's extremely jealous. doesn't like women to come over. I am a huge cat lover. I think cats are miraculous creatures. They're beautiful and mysterious. They don't listen unless they feel like it. Bye, Daz. See you later, kiddo. He didn't care. Yeah, what were we talking about?
When I